I'm not sure whose life I'm looking at anymore. I just know it's not mine, and somehow that's the problem. 40 minutes. I've been doing this for 40 minutes, scrolling through someone else's highlight reel like it contains a message meant for me. Like if I study it long enough, I'll find the thing I missed. I close the app. I open it again. I already know I'm gonna open it again. That's the part I can't explain. The knowing and the doing it anyway. I tell myself it's research. It's not research. I tell myself I'm just curious. I'm not curious. I'm measuring, holding my life up next to someone else's and waiting to see which one looks smaller. Mine always looks smaller. I start doing the math. Their age, my age, what they have, what I have, what I was supposed to have by now. There's a version of my life I built in my head a long time ago. Clean, linear, certain. I was supposed to be somewhere specific by now, not here. And I'm not saying here is terrible. Here is just not what I pictured. And that gap between the picture and the reality hurts more than anything actually going wrong. Because nothing is actually going wrong. Everything is just quietly not right. I can't explain that to anyone without sounding ungrateful, so I don't explain it. I just scroll. I just measure. I keep arriving at the same conclusion. They figured something out that I missed. There was a moment, a decision, a door. They walked through it. I didn't. And now they're on the other side, and I'm here, phone in hand, running the same calculation I always run, getting the same answer I always get. I've heard the phrases, different paths, different timelines, comparison is the thief of joy. I've said that last one to other people, out loud, sincerely. But when it's your own mind doing the comparing, phrases bounce off, because this is not a word problem. This is something older than words, something I learned before I knew I was learning anything. I'm 11 years old. I made something. I don't remember what exactly. Something I was quietly proud of, and before anyone responded to the thing I made, there was a comparison. Another kid, another result, another benchmark. And I remember the feeling, not devastation, something quieter, something that just filed itself away without asking permission. Other people are the measure. Your value is relative, always relative. I don't know who taught me that. I don't think anyone meant to. I just absorbed it the way you absorb everything when you're young, and the world is still writing its rules directly onto you. And then I carried it into every room I ever walked into after that. Every job, every friendship, every quiet night like this one. The same calculation, just different variables. And I never once stopped to ask whether the calculation itself was the problem. I just got better at running it, more efficient, faster at feeling behind. Here's what I can't shake tonight. I try to think of one time the comparison actually helped. One time I looked at someone else's life and measured it against it and came away with something that moved me forward. Something real, not temporary panic dressed up as motivation. Something that actually helped. I can't find it. I can find hundreds of moments where it made things worse, thousands maybe, but not one where the measuring gave me something worth keeping. So why? Why do I keep running a calculation that has never once solved anything? And then it comes, not gently. The comparison isn't about them. It was never about them. It's about a question I'm terrified to answer for myself. Am I enough? And because I'm afraid of my own answer, I've been outsourcing the question, letting other people's lives answer it for me. And of course they can't. They're not answering my question, they're just living their lives, completely unaware I've cast them in a role they never auditioned for. They didn't ask to be my benchmark, I made them one. Because deciding for myself felt like too much weight to carry. Because what if I decide I'm enough and I'm wrong? What if the comparison is the only honest measure I have? The old voice says this: fast, certain, dressed up like logic. That's how comfortable people tell themselves. That's how you fall behind and call it peace. I know that voice like I know my own reflection. I've been listening to it for years. But tonight, something is different. Tonight, I hear what the voice actually is. It's not logic. It's not discipline. It's fear. Fear that without the comparison, I don't know what I'm worth. Fear that my own assessment of my own life is not enough to stand on. Fear that if I stop measuring, I'll stop mattering. And beneath that fear, something quieter. Something that doesn't need the comparison to know what it cares about. Something that knows what is actually mine. Not because nobody else has it, just because it is mine. That voice says one thing: you are in a different story, and you keep trying to read it like it should match someone else's. It was never gonna match. It was never supposed to. In every moment you spend comparing pages, you are missing the one you are actually on. I put the phone down. Not the way I put it down before, already planning to pick it up again. A different kind of down. I look at the ceiling, and I notice I'm not calculating anything. I'm just here, in the quiet, and I realize this is what I've been scrolling to avoid. Not their success, not the gap. This, my own life, without anyone else in the frame, without the noise, just the quiet where my own voice lives. I'd been afraid of it, because if I sit in it long enough, I actually have to hear what it's saying. And then I have to decide what to do with that, with no benchmark, no outside measure, just me, answering the question I've been outsourcing for years. I'm still not sure I'm ready for that, but here is the thing I can't unknow now. I started tonight trying to figure out whose life I was looking at. Turns out I was looking at mine. I just couldn't see it through all the measuring. I'm still sitting in the quiet. I'm still not sure what my own answer is, but I'm finally asking myself. And I wonder how long you've been asking someone else.